In this episode of the Motor City Hypnotist Podcast, we're talking about hypnosis and tequila. If that sounds intriguing to you, stay here because it's going to be a great treat. We'll be right there.
Well, so long as we've got some time to kill, I think I'll have a beer.
We don't have no beer, just tequila.
What's tequila?
Yeah, it's like beer.
Is it fattening?
Fattening?
Forget it. If it's like beer, we'll have some. 3 tequilas.
Sure, amigos. Enjoy yourselves. But try not to get into too much troubles, okay?
Get ready for the Motor City Hypnotist, David R. Wright, originating from the suburbs of Detroit, Michigan. He has hypnotized thousands of people from all over the United States. David R. Wright has been featured on news outlets all across the country and is the clinical director of an outpatient mental health and hypnosis clinic located just south of Detroit, where he helps people daily using the power of hypnosis. Welcome, the Motor City Hypnotist, David R. Wright.
What is going on, people? It's David Wright here. We are back with another episode of the Motor City Hypnotist Podcast.
All right.
We are here. If you're watching live, we are live from the Podcast Detroit Northville Studios.
Thank you for being here.
As always, Matt Fox is helping me in the booth.
You're actually making me work today, man.
I know. Well, I thought I'd make you do something.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Quick sidebar. Don't worry, folks. We're right there. A little technical thing to take care of. All righty. Now we're here. That's what you get when you don't prep right before the showtime. You got to take just a little sidebar.
I feel like I failed.
Anyway, oh no, that's on me. I've done that before many times.
All right, fair enough.
So here we are. Let me know where you can find me, folks. My website is motorcityhypnotist.com. On that site, you will find my podcast page, along with my shop, which you can find all kinds of cool stuff, such as copies of shows, MP3 recordings, ebooks, all kinds of good stuff. So check me out there. And if you want to find me on social media, on Facebook, Motor City Hypnotist, also Motor City Hypnotist on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Motor City Hypno. And if you would like to contribute financially to the show, you can also find me on Patreon. For those of you who don't know, Patreon is a creator site for people to put out their things that they create. And you can help financially and get some cool stuff like T-shirts, mugs, and early access as well. So check that out. And as I do every episode, I'm giving away a free hypnosis guide. But in addition to that, I also have, and I will give you the link in the show notes, a free hypnosis download for insomnia. I'll quickly throw this out there. I've been seeing a lot of people in my office just not able to sleep just because of anxiety and worries and concerns. So that will be free as well. So you can check that out in the show notes. Awesome. So that's where you can get me. And if you have any ideas for the shows, just hit me up on social media. We'll look at it, and I want to give you what you want. So within reason, of course.
Right.
Yeah. It is time for our winner of the week.
All right.
That's how winning is done.
All right. This is kind of a fun one. You guys know Dave Grohl, right, Matt? You know Dave Grohl.
Mr. Foo Fighter.
Yeah, Mr.
And
Foo Fighter.
And Nirvana.
And formerly Nirvana. Yeah. So I'll give you just a quick backstory on this. There's this 10-year-old girl from England who challenged him. She gave him a drum challenge online.
She did. I saw
Have you
this.
seen it?
Oh, it's brilliant.
Okay. So he's been going back and forth with this girl from England. Her name is Nandi Bushell, or Bushell. Not quite sure how to describe it. So she challenged Dave Grohl to a drum contest for his own song, Everlong. So he responded. So this has kind of been going on for a little bit, but I don't know if you saw what he did this past week. He came back and actually wrote an original song for her.
Really?
And did it with all the parts, drums, guitar, bass, did the whole thing and messaged her and her reaction is online when she gets this song.
That I have not seen.
No, that's the great part, and that's why this came up. I thought, wow, I got to see the backstory on this.
That's great.
So he just said, Grohl said, I'm just going to make the lyrics off the top of my head, and things like she got the power, she got the soul, going to save the world with her rock and roll. So this 10-year-old girl, this song's about her, and she's just blown away.
That is brilliant. It really is.
It's great. And and I know, again, this show focuses on, hopefully, most of the time, good things. And just to see people are doing good things, even though there's a lot of, what should we say, assholery in the world.
Yuck. How about yuck? A lot of yuck in the world.
Yeah, a lot of yuck in the world. So, Dave Grohl, and for Nandy Bushell, you're our winners of the week.
That's how winning is done.
Sure is. It's always nice to have a good thing thrown in there.
Always.
Yeah.
I always like Dave Grohl anyways.
Yeah. I've loved Nirvana,
Yeah.
of course, when they came out.
Right.
I can't say I'm a huge Foo Fighters fan. I appreciate them, but I like some of the stuff.
Everlong is one of their best songs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'm familiar with it.
yeah.
So,
back to it.
So our topic this week is hypnosis and tequila. So for those of you thinking, what in the hell are you doing? This is kind of a combination because we have a special guest today. So let me just, I'm going to introduce him, and then we're going to go into why this is called Hypnosis and Tequila. My guest is the co-founder and CEO of Teak Spirits, Inc. and Teak Life, Inc., and has built a successful career in business, being an entrepreneur as well as working for multiple companies. Led by his passion, integrity, and work ethic, he has built strong reputation for himself by the brands he has represented, businesses he's owned, and companies he's worked for. An early career in the entertainment industry, co-owning an independent record label, taught him the basic fundamentals of business and marketing by developing grassroots campaigns, strategic radio promotions, and social media marketing. He has worked with some of the biggest artists in the Michigan music scene. After dissolving the record label to pursue other interests, my guest moved into the financial industry, where he excelled and achieved as a divisional vice president of operations with one of the largest mortgage lenders in the world. As great as this success may be, there's always a piece that was missing from his puzzle. Leaving the corporate world to begin his own endeavor on October 6, 2017, my guest created Teak Spirits, Inc. and Teak Life, Inc. and released Anteel Tequila on the Michigan market on August 27, 2018. My special guest is Don Ferguson.
What's
Don,
up?
good to have you with me.
You know,
it's exciting to have you here.
Wow, the power of a publicist there, right? Man,
Exactly.
She
Well,
earned all that $25.
Did somebody write the copy for you?
No,
Dave,
no.
did you write that?
Sounded
No.
pretty good though.
Well, I did mess it up a couple of times. So,
No,
and
you
whenever
improved it.
Well, whenever I do that, now I got to find it. No, I'm going to mess this up now. Never mind. We'll stay with this.
What the fuck are
you
doing?
Yeah, I wasn't doing the read well. I'm looking for our favorite read. Yeah.
Do it live. Just fuck it. Do it live. There it is.
There.
That's fantastic.
All right. You know what? I must have misplaced this. That drives me nuts now because that's one of my favorites, and we're going to have to put that back in the rotation. So, yeah, Don Ferguson is here.
What's up, man? How are you?
So
Hypnosis and Tequila.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
Sure.
So, like, I know everybody else has to be interested, so I'm very interested in understanding this connection.
Well, the connection is just I'm a hypnotist and you're tequila.
Well, I think it kind of goes deeper though, because
think so.
you know what I loved about it is you talking about you're busy, you're super busy. People are coming in, they're having a hard time sleeping.
Yep.
Now, one of the things we're just going to drop a nugget right off the bat.
Awesome.
Tequila can actually calm you down. It's been known to be a stress reliever and relieve anxiety.
Right.
So I'm no doctor. I can't prescribe tequila. But, maybe there is more of a connection than we thought.
Well, the great thing is you don't need a prescription.
That's very true.
Which is great.
That's very, very true.
Oh, good for you.
So that's the great thing.
But perhaps, they come and see you, and maybe a shot of my tequila or a nice drink, maybe it'll even them out a little bit.
Even them out. And believe me, I'm all for relaxing. My whole job as a therapist and as a hypnotist is to change people's thinking and just help them get to where they want to be. So yeah, I stress all the time, just have time for yourself. If that means pouring yourself a little drink and watching a movie or listening to some music or just sitting out on your deck, whatever that is for you, you need to take advantage of that.
Absolutely. We're living in crazy times. We're living in, a crazy world. Alcohol sales are up. As you said, your business, you're doing great.
Yep.
So it's the same thing. Alcohol sales are skyrocketing, which is fantastic. So a lot of people are staying at home. A lot of people are relaxing at home and maybe having some friends over. So all isn't wrong in the world. We're still having some good times.
Yeah, and people are still doing the right things when they can, and that's a good thing, and that's what's good to see on my end as well.
Absolutely.
So I want to start because my whole show, in fact, the theme of the show, and you'll hear it at the end on my tagline, is change your thinking, change your life. And I see so many clients come into my office that are just, for the lack of a better word, they're just bored. They just have no purpose. They have no direction. They go to their 9 to 5, grind the wheel, barely get by. And people just I don't think people are meant to function 30 ways and 30 years like that. Like it's not meant to be like that long term.
No, for me, looking at business and kind of what you explained and described was me to a T when I left corporate America.
Yep.
Although I was making fantastic money. And when I told people that I walked away, I claim it's like Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
I walked away at the top of my game. I was a divisional vice president, and I said there's got to be more. And to kind of get into it really deep is I remember sitting in my office and I would look out that window and it's like the fucking world was passing me by. And so when it came time to choose a logo for Anteel Tequila, a hummingbird instantly entered my mind for many different reasons. But when I started to research the meaning of the hummingbird, what was behind it is it's one of the very few birds that are not meant to be caged or aren't caged. How often do you see, you see parakeets and parrots and, whatever, but you never see people having a hummingbird. So that it just kind of it really spoke to me, which was super cool. And, so yeah, for me, it was, I was bored. But then I got tired of the bullshit. I just got really, really tired of moving from division to division or, being told what to do or, own your business is a fantastic term in the corporate world. But as soon as I own my business, if I make a mistake, well, guess what happens?
Yeah. You get shit on.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and it would be exactly, on a Friday around 3:00. In my brain, I would start thinking, what am I picking up on the way home? How many bottles am I picking up? And it would typically be tequila.
Okay.
But that's what it was. I wasn't inspired, and I knew I wasn't creating a legacy. I wasn't creating something that I had a purpose or, felt great about. And those are the things that started to challenge me internally and completely bother me.
Yeah. So you're there. You're not, again, you're feeling that lack of purpose or that fulfillment. I'll use
Absolutely.
that word.
Yeah.
So what ends? And I'm trying to ask this because I'm not even sure how to ask it. But what flipped that switch to say, okay, I got to do this?
There were a couple things, and listening to radio. I was listening to a show called The Breakfast Club, and they had one of my heroes, Dame Dash, who with Jay-Z founded Rockefeller. And he just talked about being your own boss. And what really, it was very relative to the time is we choose safety and security. So we think a job, if we go in, we do our job, we are safe and we are secure. Right now, automation, computers are taking a lot of jobs. And that's really the infiltrator of, taking some jobs. If you can automate a process, well, you don't have to worry about a lot of different components. And so, when anybody can come up and tap you on the shoulder and say, we don't need you anymore, how safe and secure really is that?
Right.
So that started speaking to me. And then really my wife at the time, we were getting married. And I was getting moved again. So this would be my third move at my job in a year and a half to another division. And we found out she was losing her job. So marriage, I'm moving to another, and then she's losing her job. And I just said, this is crazy. We can't allow people to dictate our lives and control our happiness anymore. We're too smart. We got to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
And so, we talked about stocks, investing, mutual fund, like bond, all these different things. And she said, well, if there's anything in this world you could do, take money out of it, what would you do? And I said, I'd create a tequila company. But here's the problem. As most happens with society, we default to, I can't do that. And I literally said that. I can't do that. And she said, why not?
Yep.
And I made up all these bullshit excuses, which I thought were real to me, but obviously now they were bullshit.
Right.
And, she just kept saying, why not? So that became the quote. And I told her, just to pacify her. Between you and I was just really pacifying her. Is if you can find a distillery that we can potentially work with, I will consider it. Now in my head, I'm like, nah, there's no way. Shit. 2 days later.
She did it.
2 days. And I'm still thinking, this is going to be bullshit. Let's get some samples. Got some samples, and it wasn't bad. And I'm like, okay, I can create some flavor profiles with the master distiller, but fuck, now what am I going to do? Because it's good. We can do it small batch just to prove concept. Let's do it. And I still was going to work. And, I was still going to continue to work on and try to balance them both. And I just, once that light switch flicked on, I knew there was something better. There was something that I could be creative in and I would enjoy and love. And then you go back to your job.
Yeah.
And how can you balance that when you just don't feel appreciated and don't feel fulfillment, and then you go home and you work on something that is a passion piece? So I just kind of put a lot of thought into it, and we talked about it. We figured out how much it would take for us to survive for 1 year from me not working and putting everything into the tequila company, and came up with that number. I had it in savings. Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's just figure this out. So I'm happy to say I'm approaching 3 years of being my own boss. So
that's awesome.
That 1 year has come and gone, but it's been stressful. A lot of stuff owning your own business. Yep. But at the end of the day, what we are building and creating, we own. I don't have the fear of walking into a place knowing that I messed up something, or they're cutting back, or they're laying, like, there's just so many different aspects that I don't have to worry about.
And that's the big thing with, and I'm going to say corporate America, but I'm talking about any business where you work for somebody. It's gone are the days of you go in, you sit down, you do what you're supposed to do. 35 years later, you get a pension, and nobody's secure anymore. And I think that's the problem. It's just that you're right. You could make one error after 360 days of being perfect and possibly be gone.
Yeah, I mean,
Clean up your desk, you're gone.
It's
right.
It's true. And like right before I put in my 2 weeks notice. I ruined all their plans. More changes were happening than I knew of, and they let go one of my friends who had been there, I think, 16 years without notice. It blindsided them.
Wow.
and, really changed the component of how I think about corporate. And we can go really down the rabbit hole with corporate America, but that just kind of proves to you, like, you're not really safe.
Yep.
You don't know what's going on, and the only way that you do is to create and build on your own.
Yep. And I'm going to give some transparency here. Don and I actually met at this company.
Yeah, we did.
I was working there. I'll make a very long story short. And maybe when I go in, I know those of you who've listened for a while, you know a lot of my background. But I was at a clinic that had went out of business. So in the meantime, I was kind of juggling. Okay, and I started seeing people elsewhere, and so I had to jump into a job. So that's where I ended up at the same company.
Mm-hmm.
And once I got locked in, I was there for years as well because I thought I have benefits.
Yep.
I'm making good money. I'm putting in a 401k. I'm getting all these things that are the thing that pulls people in. But by the end of it, honestly, I'll be as honest as it can be. I was paranoid.
Oh yeah,
I would come into work every day thinking,
oh God, yeah.
Is this the day they hand me a box?
Yeah.
And I'll go even a little bit further. And we're not saying company names, so we're good here. They have these big awards every year where you're up for an award. Hey, you're going to get this award,
right.
And I was a nominee for this award one year.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah,
it's called engagement. Yes,
I was up for this award with 5 other people in a company of thousands of people. I'm telling you, not 10 months later, they were threatening to fire me because of performance.
How does that make sense?
Yes.
In any form. And that's just what I never understood, and
Right.
I've seen it countless.
Oh yeah,
countless
I
times.
know, and we've seen it over and over again.
Yeah, and so we did meet at this particular, and we sat
next to each other. Yeah,
next to each other, and
we
hear this
we were
guy.
in a cubicle next to it. Yeah, next to
you
each
guys are
other.
still
Cubicles.
sitting next to each other
Look at
right
that.
now. Look at that. Yeah.
It's like old times. It's just we're
Yeah,
happier, and we don't have
exactly.
that paranoia. But to speak on that,
Yeah.
I agree. I had that anxiety, that stress, so I would get to the office around 7:30. I would leave about 6 o'clock, rush hour. Oh, Lord. You get home 45, an hour later, you eat, and then you crack open and check emails and try to catch up. And then you have that worry of who fucked something up, what am I going to have to deal with? And there have been times where at midnight I'd be on email. At midnight, and it just became too much. And wow, it's a different kind of stress, but it's a good stress because when things happen, and we've had a lot of great things happen recently for our brand of tequila, and it's mind blowing. It's very surreal to me because I'm super humble, and I don't take anything for granted. And I look at it like, holy shit, we did this, and
I'm very important. I have many leather-bound books, and my apartment smells of rich mahogany.
He likes
I know what
scotch,
you mean.
though,
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's very different, and I'm enjoying the ride, and I've learned a ton.
Well, and I'm gonna piggyback off that a little bit because again, I was holding on only for money, security, benefits, the things that people want to do. But at some point, my mental health and physical health was not worth that trade off. So I of course in a totally different field, but I started my own clinic, and then I started the hypnosis side, the entertainment part of my hypnosis side of things, and then I started online marketing. So now I have control of so many things that I'm in charge of.
Yep.
And yes, you're right. It's not easy. There are stressful times. There are times when you think, oh, okay, it's going to be a lean month, but we'll keep working.
Yeah.
But the difference is you're now in charge of it. You're in control of that.
You can make the decisions, and when it truly comes down to owning your own business, you do. So you can make good or bad, you can make the decisions. But the other thing is if you make an error in judgment, you learn from it. And that's what's so important. The L's, They're not for losses. They're for learning opportunities.
Absolutely. In every experience you have, and I say this to clients in the office all the time, every experience in your life teaches you something. It doesn't matter what the experience is. You learn something from it. And you take that, and you have to take that information and make changes based on that information you have.
Absolutely. And the other thing is what I really like about owning my own company is you have to have those raw, unfiltered conversations with yourself. And, in your profession, I don't know if a lot of us are comfortable to have those, to critique ourselves and say I can do it, because you don't have anybody at your job. Really, the motivation is to not get fired. Right. That's really what it becomes at a job is I'm going to do what it takes to not get fired. The motivation is to eat. When you own your own company, to make my house payment, because I have to do this. Nobody else is going to tell me. I'm not going to get a verbal warning or a write-up. Right. I'm just going to be ass out because nobody cares about me. I have to care about my own business. So that's – I've had many conversations, and I'm not crazy, maybe a little, but I'll talk to myself like, Don, you can do this. Like walking into a store – to like the very first time, I'm going from making an amazing salary to having no salary and walking into a store and saying, will you please purchase and stock my tequila? It's a very humbling, moment to where everything has changed. And when you get that win, when you get that success of them stocking it, and then you go to the next one and then the next one, and it just starts to build that confidence. Yep. So those are the things that I really like about it, because I've been challenged. I've learned a ton. I've learned what I'm capable of. And I don't think that I ever truly had that whatsoever when I was in a corporate setting. Yep.
In fact, I would dare to say, and I'm not going to speak for you, but in general, because I see it I felt it myself, you get to the point where you doubt that you can do anything right.
Oh yeah,
there's so much self-doubt, and there's so much like, well, geez, what? I don't know if I can do anything now.
Well, you're creating a fear, and it becomes, it's a feeling, but it becomes physical, like almost like it's lurking. It's somebody watching you, where you're fearful of doing something anytime. Yeah, and then you second guess yourself, and then when you second guess yourself, you typically make more mistakes. Yeah. And so
instead of going with your first decision or your first gut feeling, right? Yeah. And that's and folks, this is the whole. I beat this into your head or into your ears every week. You have to change your thinking. Your thinking is what holds you back. It's not that something's difficult, although that may be part of it. Anything worth something is difficult to do. Yeah. So your mindset and the way you think about it is what is holding you back. And once you have that freedom, now it's limitless.
I mean, that's the true freedom, though.
Yes.
Like that really is now I don't even care about money. I'm not saying that I don't need it. What I'm saying is it's not a focus anymore. To be able to go and buy, an $800 pair of shoes or a $20,000 watch. Not that I did that, I'm just saying as a reference point, or driving an expensive luxury car. I don't care about those things. Right. The health is the wealth, and then the other part of it is being able to get into a position to help other people. And that's really what it is. So on the back of the bottles, it says create your legacy. And we did that purposefully because we believe everybody has a legacy in them and has a purpose and can really give back to the world in an amazing way to make it a better place. But we get stuck. There's just so many times we get stuck and we worry about the things of, well, I need to pay. I call it the trap. So what the trap is you earn an amount of money and you live within that budget. You get promoted, you make more money, you live within that budget. And then you get promoted again, you earn more, you live outside of that budget, and then you get trapped. You have to stay there. Yep. You have to make that amount of money in order to live the life that you want to show other people that you're living on social media. And when you don't care about other people and what they think, that's a freedom in itself.
Oh, absolutely.
And I love it. I don't give a shit.
I tell clients this all the time because, again, it's human nature. We compare ourselves to others. And I'm like, you will never, no one is ever 100% transparent.
No.
It doesn't happen. And what you see on social media is what they want you to see.
Right.
That's the projection. That's the act.
Those great Kodak moments. That's really what it is. It's a great Kodak moment where everybody is happy. Everybody is in a place where they're perfect and, sunshine and rainbows. So, but, and I always have this, and this is where it kind of gets a little tricky, is I want to see the bad moments as well. So when little Johnny goes to Harvard, that's fantastic. Let's celebrate little Johnny. But when Johnny gets kicked out for doing coke, let's be real.
What are you doing?
No, that's right.
But it kind of goes away.
They don't want to show that part.
No,
of course not.
But then when little Johnny becomes the head of a Fortune 500 company, a tech company that he started, we celebrate again. So I believe in celebrating the accomplishments just as much as celebrating the losses, because I have learned so much more from my losses, and that's what's gotten us here to be, respected in an industry in less than 2 years. It's it's an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah, fantastic. So, folks, we're going to be back. Don's going to be with me for our next episode for part 2 because we want to continue this.
Right.
This again, my whole channel. I hope this is inspiring, informative to you. But we're going to continue this and give you even more challenges.
Actually, you had a friend of the show, Jamie Flanagan, came
Jamie.
in and said, "Hey, looking good."
Hey, thanks, Jamie.
And also Alan Benson checked in and gave you a little thumbs up there.
Oh,
too.
nice, Alan Benson. Hey.
Nice. So
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, we love you. That's what it means. So
that's great.
So we'll be back, folks. Next episode, Hypnosis and Tequila, Part 2. Change your thinking, change your life. Laugh hard, run fast, be kind. We'll see you next time. Thing.